Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I'm wearing some sunglasses. Did you ever notice? The only reason I'm wearing these is because they're on my desk. They usually stay on my desk, and I happen to notice I'm wearing my Stash Warden shirt, which is amazing. Stash Warden's awesome. Pipe presenter on YouTube, so if you're into pipe smoking and stuff, you gotta check out his channel. But this is his shirt from his company. Of course, got the bulldog on there with the newsboy cap and the pipe, which is awesome. Very cool. And this is also a Stash Warden swag, the glasses, which remind me of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't know why. It's kind of like an 80s style sunglasses. But they're very comfortable, and they work great, but I don't need them inside. But I just don't want to notice, when I turned the webcam on, I was playing around with the sunglasses, and I was thinking, going like this, and looking at something like perhaps the rear side of a very attractive woman on the beach, because it's 1980, and you watch Baywatch and stuff. Or I guess that was the 90s. But like this is a cool motion to go, woo. But if you happen to put your glasses back on like that, totally just lost all your swag. But anyway, yeah, we don't need glasses inside. So, I just realized I said swag instead of swag. That's pretty funny. I'm an idiot sometimes. I'm not an idiot, but I have idiotic moments. Don't we all? It's life. I should remake this video. I'm not going to. I want to talk about the forums, and I want to talk about the specific BladeForums thread talking about people who are stupid on YouTube. That's the gist of it. It's basically someone started a thread on BladeForums.com. If you don't know, if you're randomly watching this video, there are knife-related forums. There's forums for all kinds of things on the internet, but there's a couple major knife-related forums like BladeForums.com, KnifeForums.com, and so forth. Usual Suspect Network, Jersey Devil, Microholics.org. Talk Blade, blah, 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 or Talk Info. There's a bunch of different Balsam forums, Broken Brains. Yeah, a bunch of different knife-related forums online. A lot of them are awesome, a lot of nice people. EDC forums, Candlepire forums for flashlights. Yeah, great source of information, right? But BladeForums is the largest, specifically the largest, most traffic coming and going, talking about knife stuff. Anything knives is on BladeForums. And random little factoid, but onestopknifeshop.com or 1sks.com is the official BladeForums store. Good source for knives. Not always the best prices, but people always ask me, where do you get your knives? That's one company that I've used many times before, and I believe the owner of that company also runs BladeForums. So just a random factoid for you. What else? What was I going to talk about? Can you tell I had some coffee? A little jittery. Yeah, I was trying some different things out, and I'm wide awake. Hello. So, I wanted to put my input in. Let me start over here. I took a little tip from someone. They said, I'm tired of looking at your ceiling. Turn your webcam down. So, now I got the right proportion. You're looking at me in my Brawler shirt. Brawler. So, anyway. You know what I hate? I don't know why, but I hate when people, they do this thing. They go, is that like, it's a cool kind of urban thingish. I don't know why I hate that. It's annoying. So, if you do it, you're still cool. I'm just saying, in general. If I randomly see someone do that, it's kind of like, really? Why are you doing that? It's kind of annoying. ADD, anyone? The forums. That's what I was going to talk about. The forums, yeah. Don't comment on the coffee. I'm not that hyped up. I don't know what I was going to say. Like, I had a plan, and yeah, I'm a little wired, fine, but I'm not weird or anything. Come on. I could just redo this video. I don't have to show you any of this. This can be like lost footage in the Cutlery Lover Chronicles, but I'm showing anyway because I'm like that. I'm just down to earth. At least I think so, and that's why I'm showing you this. So anyway, let's get to the point here. Stop beating around the bush, which is a funny saying. The forums, BladeForums, there's a specific thread on YouTube, knife reviewers, and basically someone started it and said, hey, guess what? There's some people on YouTube who don't know what they're talking about, and they're stupid, so let's talk about them. Who do you hate the most on YouTube? That's basically like the gist of it. And of course, a couple people named some people they don't like, and then everyone else came, to defend themselves, and other people said, it's in bad taste to start a thread like this. Why would you purposely want to call people out and say how stupid or dumb they are? You don't have to watch their videos, yada, yada, yada. I just want to give my opinion on something I don't think a lot of people think about. For some reason, it's like a war. Like there's people like forum guys hate YouTube guys, and YouTube guys hate forum guys. That's like the general consensus here. That's completely untrue. In fact, most people who are on the forums watch YouTube videos. You know that if you're on the knife forums, and which by the way, I've been on knifeforums.com and bladeforums.com under multiple names. I've used cutlerylover for the majority of my time there, but I've had multiple accounts on both websites as well as many other obviously forums that I spewed out already. Since I was about 10 years old. So, more than a decade of talking about knives and stuff. Now, if you're talking about knives, that's awesome. That's a hobby. You love knives. You want to talk about them, occasionally look at pictures on stuff. Why wouldn't you want to broaden your horizon and watch videos? It's amazing to watch a video. You pick up so much information. It's extremely entertaining. You can get a lot more out of a video, moving pictures. When you see a picture of something that's cool, you're like, oh, it's kind of big or whatever. When you see it in someone's hand or you see it compared to other items, you get a better understanding of its size. It's just more information faster to you. The turnaround time on a forum thread, if people aren't completely active and constantly typing back and forth, can be kind of slow. When you're watching a video and you type a question or whatever, or you get a video response real quick, it could be a faster communication process. Okay, but if nothing else, it's entertaining. It's really entertaining. That's why we're all here to begin with, watching videos on stuff we like. But what I don't understand is you get this general feeling of like, okay, if you're a forum guy, you don't like YouTube, or vice versa. You're a YouTube guy, you don't like the forum guys. Too much drama. Oh, you guys are stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Whatever. It's all the same people. Most people who are on the forums watch YouTube and vice versa. But besides that, let's just say there are people who only stick to YouTube. They don't like the forums, and there's people on the forums who don't like YouTube for whatever reason. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But understand, both on YouTube as well as on the forums, you have really smart people who know knives, and you have idiots, morons, dummies. Okay? You got to find those people on both places. Besides that, you got to find people who are extremely egotistical, both on the forums as well as YouTube. You're going to find real knife makers on the forums as well as YouTube. You're also going to find people who don't know what they're talking about on YouTube and the forums. It's the same people. We're talking about the internet. It doesn't matter if you're watching videos or reading text. It's the same group of people. The point I'm trying to make here is if you watch a YouTube video or if you read a forum thread, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because some random person comes on the forums or comes on a YouTube video and says, hey, this specific knife has poor heat treat on it. It doesn't take an edge. You shouldn't buy it. What I would suggest you do, like anything, any product out there, is research. If you're thinking about buying this specific knife in this case, you don't go by one person's opinion. You watch multiple videos. You read multiple threads about something. When you get a general consensus and like 15 out of 20 people said that it's horrible, you can probably assume that it's not that good. Okay, you get a general idea of what it is by multiple sources of information. Okay, multiple sources. That goes to the forums as well as YouTube. I can understand someone on the forum may watch a YouTube video and someone's talking about knives and they don't know what they're talking about and they get turned off to it, or vice versa. You're on YouTube, you hear about the forums, you'll check them out, and you read a thread and some jerk said something you don't like, and you're like, the threads are stupid, the forum's stupid. I get that, that's fine, but you're going to find the exact same audience in both places. You're going to find idiots and morons, and you're going to find really, really nice people, really intelligent people. You have to sift through it. You have to filter it yourself. There's no difference between the forums and YouTube. The only difference is that everything you do on the forums, you can do on YouTube with the addition of posting videos. So, and believe it or not, if you watch half the times on the forums, if someone's talking about a video in a thread, they'll link that video or they'll add it as like an attachment. So there's still videos on the forums anyway. And ironically, they're all YouTube videos usually. But as far as that specific thread, like I can understand if there's constructive criticism, and that's what a lot of people didn't like about it, is that it was basically just being mean to people, calling specific people out, saying they stink or suck or whatever, for kind of silly reasons. There's not a whole lot of facts behind this. It's just personal opinion. I think what happens oftentimes, unfortunately, is someone will watch a YouTube channel and they don't like the person's personality. And because they don't like that person or how they come off, maybe they're egotistical, maybe they come off as being stupid, maybe they come off as, I don't know, something you don't like. automatically these people write off their source as an informative source. Okay, if you don't like that person because you think they're a jerk, you automatically assume they don't know what they're talking about with knives. And someone's personality has nothing to do with their knowledge, and that's something people have to separate. Okay, there's a lot of people, you watch someone on YouTube and they just get under your skin. You're like, oh man, I hate that guy. But he might know what he's talking about, or vice versa. Maybe you're like, oh, I love that guy, or that girl, she's awesome. I love watching that channel, and they don't know what they're talking about. So you really have to take everything with a grain of salt. You can't assume anyone's right. Okay, I would always suggest getting multiple sources of information before you perhaps make a purchasing decision. A lot of people watch YouTube knife reviews because they're interested in buying a knife. I know if I'm getting a new knife, the first thing I do is I go on YouTube and I watch all the reviews on it. It's fun. It's exciting. You get kind of psyched up for your knife. You want to learn about it. Most of the time, you'll do that before you purchase a knife or trade for it because you want that information. You want to know if you're going to like that or not, or get the best information you can as to you may or may not like it. But don't just take one person's word for it. And that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're on the forums or if you're talking about a YouTube video. I really see no difference at all. So it's kind of silly to like, oh, this is better or this is better, or these people on the YouTube, on YouTube stink. The only difference is you don't put a face to it on the forums. I think a lot of people prefer YouTube for two reasons. The biggest one is video is easier to watch. If nothing else, it's lazier. Instead of reading and typing and writing, it's easier just to put on a video. You're eating lunch, you pop on YouTube, you watch a knife video. Entertains you. It's easy to consume. And for some reason, we tend to be easy people. So yes, video format is more entertaining in my opinion. But in addition to that, you get to know the people. Okay, you're not staring at an avatar of someone, and most of the time it's not even a picture of them. It's like something they like. If they like Korn, you're looking at, lead singer Korn, and you're always relating that with this guy, and he's talking about knives. When you're on YouTube, even if you don't see the person, if they're like a little camera shy, or if they don't get on camera like I'm doing right now, you get a voice. You get a sense of who they are. And it doesn't matter who you are on YouTube. Most of the time, a little bit of you comes out in a video. You can try your best on doing like a review, but if you do a review any more than like a minute, you'll end up saying something that has nothing to do with that specific product that you're reviewing. There'll be a little bit of you coming out, a little bit of your personality. And that's what people like. They can relate to it. And either they'll like it or they won't like it. But it's unfortunate that some people are written off because of their personality. And that's just how it is. I'm not going to go into it further. I'm going to make a completely separate video sometime in the future. I've tried this once before and I ended up deleting it because there was a lot of drama surrounding it. It's supposed to be like a funny little thing, but I'm going to make a specific video on how I feel about Nut and Fancy, because it's one of the most asked questions, and for some reason people think that we hate each other or we're best buddies. I will get down to exactly how I feel about Nut and Fancy in a separate video dedicated just for that subject, because of course he came up a lot in this thread, and I happen to think that he happens to be an easy target, and because he's a bigger YouTube channel. It's that simple. But I'll give you my specific feelings on that in a separate video. But as far as this thread's concerned, I think that, of course it's childish to name call. I think if you don't like someone, at least post why. If you say like, hey, I don't like this specific reviewer on YouTube because they have a unibrow and it really freaks me out every time I watch their videos, and I can't even focus on the knives because all I want to do is take my scissors out and just trim it because it's gross. Whatever, just be honest about it. Don't say, oh, that guy's an idiot because you don't like his personality, because he may not be an idiot. He may know exactly what he's talking about. A lot of people are catching flack that don't deserve it. And of course, the rebuttal from YouTubers is, it's easy to be a keyboard hero and all the stereotypical terms, keyboard warrior. And it's easy to criticize when you don't do it yourself. It's really, really hard to make videos. I don't care who you are. You get more used to it. I mean, 2,000 plus videos now, it's not as hard for me. But, you criticize yourself. You don't want to look dumb. You don't want to sound stupid. You're doing your best. We're people. We're all people. No one's perfect. I know a lot about knives. I can confidently say that I know a heck of a lot about knives. I don't know everything. There's people out there who know more than me. Part of being an adult and being mature is understanding you don't know everything, and there's always room to learn. A lot of times people on the forums and on YouTube, they forget that there's always room to improve and there's always room to learn. And guess what? There's a possibility that you might not know something, or in the moment you forgot it. sometimes people send me a message and they'll ask a simple knife question, and I go, wait a minute. Like, I know that answer. It's so simple, you know, but I don't remember it. I had a, brain fart, whatever, in the moment. We're people. We're human beings. We make mistakes. But, blindly criticizing people, not constructively, just being mean. Of course, that's exactly what it is. It's just being mean. I think that the thread, obviously it's going to start some controversy. No one wants to hear that they're a bad knife reviewer or whatever, or no one wants to hear empty, blaming of people being stupid. And there's a little bit of heated discussion on it. It's not a big deal. I think that if there was constructive criticism, hey, here's a person on YouTube, or I wouldn't even name people specifically. And it's not like I don't like the whole PC thing. I don't care about people's feelings getting hurt. You can have a stranger say, strangers tell me every day I'm an idiot and I got a fat head, and like they watch my old Zippo videos and they say, your fingers are so fat, you must be a fat guy. And I used to get like pissed. I used to be like, no, I'm not fat. Now I don't care. It's kind of funny. You take it for what it is. It's strangers, and there's a lot of strangers on here, but you get to meet some cool people. That's why I stick around. I get to meet really nice people every single day. I meet new people, and it's really fun. And the same thing with the forums. I wish I had time to visit the forums more often. I don't personally have time for it. But it's not a bad place. It's just like YouTube. You're going to find good people. You're going to find bad people. You're going to find people who know what they're talking about, and you're going to find people who don't know what they're talking about. A lot of strong opinions, a lot of egos, a lot of masculine, I'm stronger, that kind of BS stuff. And it's alpha male BS. And of course, if someone hurts your feelings and it looks like they put you down or something, you can't control that. And now everyone has to be the tough guy. So you get into a little heated discussion. Happens all the time. It's just human traits. It's just human characteristics. Men get like that, and we can't accept the fact that sometimes we're wrong. We get stubborn and thick-headed. But anyway, I don't know. That's pretty much it. I just want to chime in a little bit and say the biggest point of this video is that the forums aren't any different than YouTube. It's the same people, and the people, even if they're not literally the same people in every instance, it's the same type of people. Some know, some don't, some are mean, some are nice. It's the internet. Either way you look at it, it's just a different format. I prefer the video stuff just because it's easier and more entertaining, but that's just my opinion. Besides that, I don't see the thread accomplishing anything. If someone said, hey, I like YouTube knife reviews, but I don't necessarily like this, and this. There's some general things that people don't like. They don't like, for the most part, really loud metal music. Although I have to say, for some reason, Jeff gets away with that. If you don't know, Tough Thumbs, he plays the metal in the background, but he happens to have good taste usually, so most people don't mind that. Dark lighting on videos, people don't like. People don't like mumbling. People don't like knife reviews of knives they just take out of the box brand new. Of course, there's general information or general ideas that people dislike as far as knife reviews are concerned. But what is a knife review? I've always thought a knife review is you're using this knife for a while, you give some facts in addition to some opinions. The facts are basically to reiterate information people can look up by themselves, but more so you want to put your personal opinions and your personal experiences, things they can't read on a website. If they go to a knife dealer and they want to buy a specific knife, yeah, sure, they can get the specs. They can know what steel it has. They can know what kind of grind it has by looking at a picture. They can know what handle material are and stuff like that. They can get weight information. What they can't get is, hey, this is uncomfortable when I chop with it. Or, hey, you know what? I used this knife for 2 weeks and it chipped out on me. Or, hey, I thought this was a piece of junk and guess what? It's staying sharp forever. It's awesome. Those kinds of things you can't get from dealers, and that's what you gain so much out of watching these reviews. But if nothing else, besides actually obtaining information from these videos, you're watching people's personalities. You get to know their life a little bit. It's kind of fun. You're making friends. It's a fun process. And the same can happen on the forums. It's just in a different type of format. The forums to me it tends to be slightly less personal because of the fact you don't have the video format. But it's nor here or there. It's not better or worse. It is what it is. But anyway, yeah, I don't think the forum thread is going anywhere. I think eventually it'll be locked. It's my opinion. Eventually someone will slip up and start saying, getting off topic or something or getting really defensive, and it'll be locked. It's no big deal. But yeah, I mean, if you find YouTube slow or something and you've never been on the forums, check them out. There's plenty of really nice people on there. But just like YouTube or anywhere else on the internet, you gotta weed through the crap. You have to, you know, as the jerks come and attack you, you got to kind of shrug them off your shoulders and, you know, find the nice people and find the good information. There's a whole lot of bad information both on YouTube and on the forums or anywhere else on the internet. There's good and bad everywhere. So take it with a grain of salt, filter it yourself, and get my biggest advice would be getting multiple sources of information to get a general consensus on something. All right. Besides that, everyone be nice. Just be nice. That's all. Best you can. Swallow your pride sometimes. I know it's hard being a guy. You have to be the strongest and the best and the smartest. And I know everything about knives and you don't know anything and whatever. That's so stupid. No one knows everything. We all have room for improvement. We all have room to learn new things from each other. So if we can all get along and do that, we'll all be better. So anyway, that's all. I'm off to bed. I'm tired now. I've talked myself tired. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you soon, either here or on the forums. I don't know. That's it, guys. Take care.